Hello again. Now, so many years have passed, but I still have an incomplete knowledge of what occurred on that day I was playing rugby for my school team. A young teenager who apparently had passed the ball off the ground, only to have his head meet another player's knee. Result? A knockout. Later to wake up in hospital after having a skull fracture confirmed. I recall the ward round being shown the linear crack on what I now know to be my right temporal bone. It was autumn term, no rugby for a couple of months, but the following term I was back on the field. Nowadays that would be simply unthinkable. Imagine. I do recall those following months, though, episodes of vagueness, headaches, concentration issues, and numerous other subtle symptoms I now recognise as being all brain injury associated. And so it was to some interest I see the new guidelines being published very recently in the UK, derived from various items gleaned from much brain injury research. The latest guidelines for grassroots sport being entitled, "If in doubt, sit them out." These mainly, though, pertain to the recognition and initial non-medical management of concussion. In quite some detail, in fact. Although the detail is there in this weighty document, the research that went into it can only be imagined from the numerous references contained therein. One key item, though, published in the journal, slightly ironically entitled Brain, found significant brain changes still present some 6 months following concussion in some 47% of this study's cohort group. That's a lot of people. Ideally and hopefully, then, if in doubt, sit them out. That sort of document will become widely distributed and even more widely made aware of in time. It's full of very sensible advice which flows along nicely, very logical, and it's, practical. Some years ago we had a thing called the Pocket Concussion Recognition Tool, which was succinct and could be found on a small set of cards readily carried about in any suitable pocket by coaches, parents, referees, teachers, and any relevant person who might be finding themselves in charge of such matters. Talking of headaches, though, reading the headlines in the medical news media this last week across the UK concerning a certain doctor's record payout in a whistle-blowing case was grim reading. If we all understood the obvious need to both attract and retain suitably senior, experienced, hard-working and well-qualified medical staff, and thus highly sought after, this was surely the antithesis of that set of criteria. We can only hope the relevant souls in authority learn from this experience, excluding the huge sums involved. The post-COVID era trundles on, and we're all seemingly still playing catch-up. Indeed, the combination of sometimes very long routine waiting lists for specialist assessments, lack of available appointment slots for all medical and associated specialties, including dental, worries over illness versus our today's level of expectation, does mean we need to focus in that one direction of travel. But hey, we're all human, and to err is to be human. Expect some bumps in the road, but let's not throw some chasms in there along the path, please. Otherwise, who knows how this will turn out. So funny in surgery this week. It was a week of multiple problems. Patients with numerous lists. So we could almost sort of cherry pick, okay, what's the main concern today? And then the others, well, are worrying you a little bit in these discussions. The NHS bottomless pit probably does actually have a bottom, but in GP practice at the moment, it is simply non-stop from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. But that's just the patient interaction bit, the face-to-face, the phone, the message, the email, then all the various discussions, information bites from numerous other sources that need sifting, sorting, dealing with, plonking in the notes. Then the pharmacy issues. Oh my word, that's another stress point. Well, look, let's not dwell on these matters any longer. It's May on the beautiful Isle of Man. Look at that sky on a clear day. It is beautiful, as good as any such view of the heavens anywhere on the planet, methinks. However, this time, maybe for the slip, slop, slap tool too. As, in the light of today's sun being rather fierce, slip into something sensible, slap on a hat, slop on some high-factor sunblock. You know it makes sense, as they say. Until next week, cheerio.